Morning. Hey, who do you go to when you have problems? Do you talk to your mom and dad? Maybe your grandma and grandpa? Your brothers, sisters, your friends, the preacher, maybe your Sunday school teacher? You have a lot of people you can go to when you have a problem and talk to them about it and they can help you. But don't forget, you can always go talk to God. God listens to our prayers. He listens and he answers them. Now, he doesn't always say yes to us, but he does answer them, and he does want to hear what we have to say, and he does want to hear our needs. In fact, in James 5:16, it tells us that when a believing man prays, it can happen. Great things can happen from that prayer. So when we look at our Bible, where do we see lessons about prayer? Well, one of the places we see it is in 1 Kings chapter 18 when we talk about Elijah. Elijah was a prophet. He lived 800 years before Jesus was born, and he was supposed to go around and teach the people about God because they had wandered off. They were doing things that were wrong. And so God sent Elijah and said, "Go tell the people about me. Tell them to come back to me." And so Elijah was doing that. He was preaching to the people, and he was preaching to the king of the land, King Ahab, and he was telling them what God's plans were and what God wanted them to do, but they weren't listening. They weren't paying attention. And so God says, okay, we're going to give this one more try to see if we can make them understand. And so there had been a drought, okay? Hadn't rained in 3 years. So Elijah went to Ahab and said, here, we'll find out. We'll settle this once and for all whose God is stronger, because Ahab and the people of Israel were worshiping a God called Baal and not the true God. He said, so let's have a contest. You get your prophets, and I will go and we'll go on this hill, and we will pray to our gods, and we will offer a sacrifice, and the one who accepts the sacrifice is the one true God. Well, Ahab thought that was a good idea. So we got 450 prophets of Baal, and they went up on a hill, and they built their altar and their sacrifice, and they began to dance around it, praying to their god Baal to take the sacrifice. And they danced, and they danced, and they sang, and they danced, and they even cut their arms and legs with swords and spears, trying to get Baal's attention. But nothing happened. They danced and they sang. For hours they danced until they were exhausted. Still nothing happened. And Elijah started taunting them. You know what taunting is? Making fun of them, picking at them. Hey, you need to yell louder. Maybe Baal's on vacation, or maybe he's asleep. You need to yell louder. Get his attention. You know what? They yelled louder. They prayed harder, and absolutely nothing happened. Why? Because Baal's not a real God. Baal's what they call a false god or a fake god. You could pray to Baal all day long and nothing's going to happen because Baal can't hear you because he's not real. Okay? Well, finally it's Elijah's turn. And so he builds his altar, and he puts firewood on it, and he puts his sacrifice on it, and then he does something that's just totally what? He covers the altar, and he covers the sacrifice in 12 jars of water. Well, fire is difficult to start when it's wet. Okay? And so here he is, he's going to build this altar, he's going to offer this sacrifice, and he's going to ask God to burn the sacrifice, but he pours water over it. Well, everybody's kind of looking at that going, yeah, this isn't going to work because it's all that water. Water was dripping off of it. 12 jars of water on the sacrifice. And then Elijah prayed. And Elijah prayed to God that God would prove that he was the one true God. And he would take this sacrifice. And guess what? Fire came down from the heaven. And not only did it burn the sacrifice, not only did it burn all the wood that was there, it burnt even the stones. And then another miracle happened. Elijah had asked for rain in his prayer. And it began to rain. 3 years it hadn't rained. 3 years of no rain from the sky. 3 years of what they call drought. None. And Baal's prophets had prayed for rain and none had come. And Baal's prophets had danced around their sacrifice and nothing happened. But Elijah prayed to God. And God not only burnt the sacrifice in the wood, he burnt the stones, and then it rained. This is a miracle. And this shows you the power of prayer, because Elijah asked God for these things in his prayer. God answered his prayer. Yes, Elijah, I will do these things for you. And not only did he say, yes, Elijah, I will do these things for you, he did them. He burnt the sacrifice and he brought the rain because of Elijah's prayer. Now, what's that teach us? When we have things that we need and we have problems, we need to pray to God, because God will answer us and he can help us solve our problems. And he may fill our needs. And again, remember, God doesn't tell you yes on everything. Mr. Charlie used to pray for a motorcycle. But God never gave me a motorcycle because he knew I didn't need one. Okay? So God knows what we need, and he answers our prayers kind of like our mom and dad does when we ask for things. He answers us with love. We ask our mom and dad for things and they tell us no sometimes. It's not because they're being mean, but because they love us and they know that's not good for us. But God has the power to answer prayers, just like he did for Elijah. So when we have a problem, we need to talk to God. We need to let him know. Pretty cool, huh? Knowing that not only do you have your moms and your dads and your grandmas and your grandpas, your brothers and sisters and all your friends to talk to when you have a problem, you got the most powerful person in the world to talk to. You can talk to God about your problems. So remember that this week. Pray every day. All right? Well, we'll see you soon. We love you. We miss you. And we can't wait to get hugs and to give hugs. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.